You bitched and you moaned and you got a podcast.
But we have nothing to talk about.
No. So, I first of all, there's no coffee. No one made me coffee this morning. Second of all, I make coffee. He complains that I didn't put cow piss in it.
I don't like to drink coffee that is like my soul, black and voidless.
And hot.
Oh, well. I do prefer iced coffee. I don't know.
Well,
This
anyway.
analogy is not working. Shut up.
So I made coffee. He bitches. I set up the podcast recording equipment.
He
bitches.
doesn't plug it in, so I bitched.
He
Yes.
bitched because I put in the wrong HDMI connector. And then on top of all of that, he says, no, we don't need to record an episode. Proceeds to have a wonderful discussion about Starbucks while I'm making the coffee and we're sitting here sipping it. And then says, oh yeah, we probably should have recorded that. So you're just 0 for 3 on everything. So here's what I've learned. I will, next time, before you awaken from your slumber, I
was awake before you, motherfucker. Don't even
You don't
start.
know that.
I was.
I was reading. I'm working. I will have coffee made with, what do we eat, half and half? 2%? Almond milk?
Almond milk, yeah.
Almond milk, okay. I will have coffee ready. There will be almond milk ready.
And 2 Splenda.
You're not getting that. You get almond milk and that's it.
No, I need some type of sweetener.
Oh, for God's sake, just get you some fucking honey or something out of the cupboard.
No, that has real sugar in it. I can't do real sugar. That has calories.
Coffee, almond milk, 2 fucking Splenda. I will have the podcast connector set up with the microphones. And then will you leave me alone?
Probably not.
And then you'll leave for the day. And then we won't record shit. So, anyway.
I'll look at it and say, oh, that's nice. I have somewhere to be.
I watch you go outside and sit in your car for 20 minutes and scroll through your phone.
I had a very productive meeting.
So, here we are. We were talking about Starbucks because I'd mentioned, by the way, if any of you know how to get outside of a Wall Street Journal paywall, please let me know. It's not a crime. It's a cover-up. I tried switching to Reader View. I tried opening it in a different browser. I tried everything, but Wall Street Journal has an impenetrable paywall, and I really don't like their editorials lately, so I don't feel like paying for it. So, if you can find a way, because there was a story this morning that Starbucks is closing permanently, forever, 12 stores, because...
16.
Oh, 16 stores, that's right. 16 stores, because of...
I don't want to catch him in a lie already.
16 stores because of people coming in, shooting up in the bathrooms, people coming in, harassing the people working there.
Harassing.
No, that's when Kamala Harris harasses you. That's
No.
harassing.
The word is to harass because harass is something she sits on. So the word is harass, and I will have it no other way. Continue your story.
Okay. So, whichever... What was I talking about? Oh, Starbucks.
I don't know what you were talking about. I don't pay attention.
I was literally just having this discussion with you all of 5 minutes ago when I was trying to plug this shit in.
Okay.
So closing 16 of their stores permanently, Starbucks, because of the homeless problem, because people are just obliterating the bathrooms.
You make it sound like they went to Del Taco and then just had uncontrollable diarrhea all over the bathroom.
Tacos, speaking of tacos, the Latinx people.
No.
They're
That's
all
a
like
cultural
different
thing.
tacos.
We're saving that.
No, we're not. No, Jill Biden, who has never been to a Mexican restaurant in her life, that she has not called the salsa pico de gallo.
She is Peggy Hill.
She is Peggy Hill, yeah. Yeah. With
C-Safe
extensions.
Squad Way.
So, Starbucks. they're closing these stores permanently, never coming back. And it's something like 6 in Seattle, 6 in Los Angeles, 2 in Portland, Chicago, Philadelphia, and 1 in DC. That counts up to 16, right? 12, something. I just want to find a list of which ones are closing because it's based off of incident reports. So when something happens in the Starbucks, like a customer screams and it affects, everybody notices, the manager has to fill out an incident report. If someone comes in and destroys the restroom and scrawls graffiti on the wall, they have to write an incident report. If I don't know.
But as I said before, surely they're not stupid enough to just say, "Oh, if you have X number of incident reports, we're closing you down for good." Surely they have something in place where they can go in and say, what actually happened. Did someone just scream an obscenity and run out and that was an incident? Or did someone, slam, like I did to you, slam someone's head in the counter and say, I wanted almond milk, bitch. What are you doing? And, that was an incident. Like, they're two different things here.
There's about to be an incident if you call me Shirley again.
Both times I said Shirley, I saw him smiling, waiting, just waiting with bated breath to say something.
I was waiting for the right moment, and it was the right moment.
No, you were waiting because you didn't want to interrupt me. You were being very nice.
Oh, God. My one flaw. Well, they said the problem is that in the portion of the story I could read, thank you, Wall Street Journal, they said the issue is that the managers of these stores feel like corporate is not reading the incident reports. So they're making them out because they're required to. Like, you're required to do this as part of your job, and it's not being heard to the point where it's unsafe for the customers, for the workers, for the managers, for everybody, that some of these stores are becoming so crime-ridden. That's what it said in the piece. I don't know.
They should have someone's job who that is their job to look at the incident reports and say
there is.
Well, then that person has not been doing their job.
Well, that person apparently is doing their job because they found that some stores have so many valid incident reports that they're like, we have to close the store. Like, we can't, in all good faith, still function, continue to have operations in these areas. And one of the places, so the local Seattle media released the list of the ones around there. So it's, I think, 5 in Seattle, 1 in Everett. But the one in Seattle, one of them was Pike and Pine. Now, if you've ever been to Seattle, there's a Starbucks in every corner. So, like, them closing 6 stores there is, like, nothing. But Pike and Pine, and so that probably, if I remember correctly from being there, that's an area where they were having so many people, like, going in, using the restrooms, because Starbucks has a new policy now, because for racial bias reasons, that there was a gentleman who tried to go in and use a restroom. The manager said he was not a paying customer. Then the individual got upset. Someone called the police, and it became a whole thing. So after that, Starbucks said, anyone who can use our restrooms anytime, go in there, conduct an abortion, whatever you want. And so now the window is going the other direction because they're saying, well, it's going to be at the manager's discretion per store whether they want their restrooms open to the public or not. So apparently in some of these areas it became such a problem that they just can't keep the Starbucks open anymore.
As I said to you before we started recording, this sounds like a stupid analogy, but it still works. This is what you get for being lawless. Removing a rule such as you have to be a customer to use our restrooms, removing that and putting in place that, willy-nilly free-for-all, that is a type of taking away laws, taking away rules and a lawless behavior, and that's what you get. I don't feel sorry for them. I think they've made the correct decision in reversing it, but doing so quietly might not get them flack, but who knows?
Well, the part that I didn't understand was, why was it not at manager's discretion to begin with? because that seems like they finally settled on the right policy. Like some stores, look, if you are on the store on Hollywood Boulevard that is 3 blocks away from Hollywood and Highland, it's one of the most walking tourist visited places in the United States. I could understand why you would want to make the restrooms for customer use only, because you will have a line of 20 people for each restroom if you try to make it open to the public. So that's just, and anybody trying to go to the store who actually is a patron and sitting there on their laptop or whatever, there's no way they'd even be able to get into the bathroom line. And then on top of that, employees in many Starbucks don't have a separate back restroom to use. So if an employee has to use a restroom, they can't wait in line, behind 18 people. So I would get why you'd want to make that restroom customer use only. If you're a Starbucks that's in, way out in the middle of nowhere and it's a small town and, then why not just make it open for everybody? Like, I don't understand.
And the only other choice is your clean Starbucks bathroom versus a nasty McDonald's bathroom.
Ooh, yeah. Nobody wants to use a McDonald's bathroom.
Because then you might get a customer who is like, oh, you were nice enough to let me use your bathroom, I'll buy something.
Right. I mean, my conspiracy that the only reason that Barnes & Noble is still open is because they have public bathrooms continues to be supported.
Well, they've closed many of theirs, haven't they?
The bathrooms?
No, Barnes & Noble.
Oh, yeah, there's not many left.
I was upset when Borders closed.
I liked Borders. I liked Borders because you could go in there and you could, me and my family used to always go there, sit in there on like a Friday or something after dinner, and just like sit in like the magazine area or the book area and read, and always come home with something. We'd always buy some fucking book or something, some magazine. It was nice.
They made it nice.
They made it nice. And they had the cafe in there too.
Right. Well, yeah. Barnes & Noble has
Starbucks,
cafes with
yeah.
Starbucks. I only went in Barnes & Noble's as a teenager, like before movies and stuff, because invariably there would be like in the shopping center where a movie theater was, there was also a Barnes & Noble. And so we would go and hang out for 2 to 3 hours in the Barnes & Noble before or after the movie, depending on when the movie was, and we would cause, havoc and
like the havoc happening outside.
Misplaced books.
You would misplace books?
Well, so literally, I think one time I took a big stack of like Barack Obama's book and like just moved it to the bargain bin or something like that.
Well, actually, you were doing them a favor. You were just anticipating the market,
right?
But still, that was your. Well, that's the extent of your criminal activity.
What I'm going to admit to, yeah.
Today I found out my podcast co-host is a hooligan.
No, we would do lots of ridiculous things and go look at magazines we shouldn't be looking at, and
fat lot of good that did. That actually probably pushed you in the wrong direction.
Go in the I would go in the gay and lesbian book section.
Well, back then it was like a section.
Yeah.
Is that still a section? Or
Probably.
Is it just the whole fucking bookstore now?
It's probably like a much bigger section.
It's probably like there's like a small section that's like straight romance, and everything else is like, genderqueer studies for kids. Well, how many more emergency vehicles can they send to this? What are they going to send next? The rescue boat?
We're going to feel really bad when we find out that like 3 people have died.
This is some horrible incident happening. But it's live on our broadcast. Breaking news. Something is happening.
Something is happening in Orange County, California.
You don't have to tell them where we are.
Well, they know that.
They don't know that.
Yeah, they do.
How?
From our last episode, I believe we said, we might sound better because we're down in Orange County.
That could have been one episode. We could be elsewhere. We could be on a road trip. We could be in Salt Lake City right now. And
now that we're in St. Helena, Montana, yeah.
St. Helena is in Napa. Helena is the capital of Montana.
Oh, it's not. I'm sorry. It's not St. Helena. Just
if I was in St. Helena right now, we'd already be 3 sheets to the wind. The air alone is 40 proof.
We need to go to Napa.
We do. But back to this. I just want the list of which stores are closing in LA because we were talking about like the Studio City store and some of the other ones, like the Mid-Wilshire stores, like those get enough foot traffic to where it's like, I don't know if those are probably going to close, you know, even though there's always an incident.
Right,
like I talked to the
because-
manager at my favorite store and he was saying that I was like, I actually came in later in the day than I normally do. Like I came in early afternoon. I was like, oh, so how's it going? And he's like, oh, it's another day. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, there's always something. Like there's always, he's like, a woman screaming and throwing things at us behind the counter. Someone didn't want to pay and they just walked out with like $20 worth of stuff. You know, someone screaming at one of the customers. Like it happens every single day.
Well, there's the one I didn't go to it as often as I thought I would, but the one on
The Mid-Wilshire one.
yeah, the one right across the street from my apartment. There's homeless people like camped out around there all the time, and the amount of times that I've heard someone go in and complain about the woman who is out there, she's not causing issue, but they go in and complain because they're grossed out, and I understand, because she is picking through the garbage looking for food.
Right.
And it's like, you know, I see that and I'm just like, you do you, lady, because I can see the, you know, track marks on your arms. I'm not giving you any money or anything. So yeah, I don't say
was
anything.
Anne Heche.
I don't say anything, but I know I have heard people say, you know, they've made comments about it, and I'm just like, are they gonna file a report about this? Like,
I don't know if they have to file a report about something like that. In fact, if there's any people who are listening who are current or former Starbucks employees, let us know, because I don't know what the incident report process is. I just know that they're required to do them, and it's not.
well, we know one former employee. Your good friend.
Oh, that's true. We should ask her.
The James Charles sound-alike.
We should ask her. We should ask them.
It.
No one chooses it anymore. It is gone because no one wants to sound like the clown.
What the?
No, because it was a thing for a moment.
No.
It was a thing.
No.
Derogatory. See, I feel like a lot of the things that I say, like it's like when you go through like a very large dictionary and it has like in parentheticals derogatory. Like I feel like a lot of the uses that I have for words are the derogatory uses for words, and that's
Imagine that.
completely unwittingly.
But going back to what I said about New Orleans, New Orleans is very, very, like, you know, high crime rate, and always has been, always will be. Like, that's just how it is. But I was going to say, I'm surprised none of the New Orleans Starbucks closed, but then I went, oh, wait a minute. They have CC's and PJ's mostly in New Orleans, and very few Starbucks, so that might be why.
Are there lots of 7-Elevens there?
No.
Interesting. So it's more like community markets and stores and local places.
No, in Louisiana,
Like Quickie Mart or something?
it's a lot of a Circle K.
Oh, Circle K, yeah. Why aren't there those there? They're in Arizona. I don't understand why they're not in California.
I don't know. There's 7-Eleven is not really a thing.
I thought it would be like some like... I love grocery store names in the South because it's always something like Fanny Bumpkins or Humpty Dumptys or Scrumptious Millies or... What's the one?
I think Piggly Wiggly is still
Piggly
open.
Wiggly. Yeah, Piggly Wiggly is like a big deal there. Or there's a place called H.E. Butt.
Excuse me?
H.E.B. H.E. Butt is a grocery store chain somewhere in the Midwest.
Oh, well, that's the
That's a
Midwest.
big deal. But in the South, you know, there's so many. There's Publix, Publix, something like that.
This is not.
It's true. And then even up in like Oregon, there's King Supers, Fred Meyer's. There's all these other weird ass stores that are supposed to be Ralph's.
Winco.
Winco, yeah.
Explain this to me.
Uh-huh.
What is this?
Winco is a They specialize in.
It's like the Marshalls for groceries or something.
It's kind of like Grocery Outlet, but in a way, it's more bulk stuff. So, have you ever been to a Smart and Final?
No, there's one up the road.
Okay, Smart and Final is more like cheaper paper goods and stuff like that. Like it's like for people who don't have a Costco membership, like you can go there and get all your like party supplies and stuff. Like it's good, and they also have some light grocery. Winco is more heavy into the grocery, but you can get bulk stuff. Like, in fact, one of the best things to get there are like dry goods and spices because you can get like that whole spice cabinet full of stuff at Winco would cost you about $11, and you could get like a pound of garlic powder, a pound of marjoram, a pound of oregano, a pound of whatever. So it's good for stuff like that, but it's very specific.
So yeah, I went to one in the San Francisco area when I was first visiting because someone made such a big deal. She was like, "You have to come here. You have to come here. You'll love it." And
It's
I'm
not
just
that
like,
fucking special.
"What the hell is this?" And we bought like red velvet cupcake champagne. It was the nastiest shit I've ever had in my
That
entire
sounds
life.
like diabetes.
But it was $2 for like a bottle of
Oh.
sparkling wine. Oh my god, it was that. So that was what we loaded up on was cheap alcohol, basically.
Well, and then there's Aldi's too. Which
Right, but that didn't exist.
I
to
walked
me
through an
either.
Aldi and we bought nothing. I didn't understand what the purpose was.
I told you have to go on a certain day because they get shipments and stuff. Because that literally is almost like a Marshalls of grocery.
It's
because
like grocery outlet, yeah.
they take the leftover shit, repackage it in their own, labeled stuff, and then sell it. So they have stuff that tastes. It's San Pellegrino, but it's in their own bottle with a different label. It looks similar, but not the same. And it's like $1 per bottle rather than like $5 per bottle. And they have wine that I think the wine is not as potent. Like it still says like 7%, but
They
I
watered
can
down the
drink-
wine.
I can drink 2 bottles of that and feel nothing. But it's like it tastes good and it's $2 each, like $2 a bottle. They have their own hard seltzer.
Hey guys, want a sparkling Aldi?
I'm just saying, they have certain things at certain times, and they get shipments in like certain days of the week, and so you have to go on certain days.
Well, they're related to Trader Joe's, which is also it's a different Aldi spinoff, but they have their own store brand, and they usually source it out from good places. Trader Joe's has kind of a problem with hard alcohol. Like their hard alcohol that's marketed as Trader Joe's brand stuff is not that great. Like I haven't found a gin there that's good. Like their basic London Dry gin, like it'll get the job done, but you won't feel good about yourself. And their vodkas are not great. Like we've tried almost all of them. But there is a new Trader Joe's hard seltzer that was very good, and it's a 12-pack for $4.99, which blows White Claw and Truly and all that other crap out of the water. For the price.
Since this came up, we have to include this before we close
You're going
out.
to say we have to open one, and I was like, it's a little early.
No. Before we close out, we have to talk about the Happy Dad. We had some Happy Dad.
We finally tried the Caitlyn Jenner sponsor. She's not behind it. She's not getting any money from it. The Caitlyn Jenner sponsored seltzer. And it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It has electrolytes in it, which the other seltzers don't. So that's why they were drinking it out on the golf course.
Right. But I also thought, quite frankly, it tastes better than, like, White Claw and stuff like that. Because there's a harshness to White Claw or Truly or Vizzy. There's some kind of harshness to it. I guess it might even be less carbonation almost.
Yeah.
It was less harsh. I wasn't,
Didn't feel
belching
shitty.
up a storm.
Yeah.
The like after every sip. And it tasted good.
I would put that as a top 3 for sure. I don't like Truly. Truly has an awful liminal taste to it.
Have you ever had just their regular seltzers though? Because most people buy the lemonade shit, which is not the same.
Yeah, it's not good. Yes, I did. We were somewhere that was all that they had. And it was fine, but I thought White Claw was better. I haven't had one Truly that's better than a White Claw. Let me put it that way.
Oh, no. You probably won't.
But White Claw's pretty middle of the road for me. The Kirkland seltzers,
The only
Costco
reason I
ones
like
are good.
White Claw is because they have a wide variety of flavors.
No.
I don't know of any other one. Well, they're becoming more prolific now, but at the
Yeah.
time, they were the only people selling mango and watermelon flavored
Right.
seltzer.
Right. I mean, the problem with me with hard seltzer is, here's the problem. If you're on a
You
boat,
have a problem?
it's you. If you're on a boat and you don't want to drink a bunch of beer and everything like that, like seltzers are great. They're great for like party atmosphere and stuff like that. If you're just having a good small time with friends at home, make real drinks. Because you have to sit there and drink like 6 to 8 seltzers to feel anything. And then you're peeing every 5 minutes. And that's depleting all in itself.
Or
What'd you call me?
if you are home alone and have had a long day or something, and you don't want to open a bottle of wine or anything like that, and you don't want to drink hard alcohol because you're alone, and that's depressing. Pop open a hard seltzer, 1 maybe 2, and then it's enough to calm you down. It's enough to make you a little bit relaxed, and then you can go to bed.
And you have 9 more. And you start calling your ex-wife. And that's how it works.
But yes,
What'd you call me?
the only reason I can see having hard seltzer is to take the edge off, and you don't want to open a bottle of wine, or to take out on the beach or a boat trip, I guess.
Yeah. Well, on that note, when is Starbucks going to start selling hard seltzers? That'll happen. I'm calling it.
Didn't they try to launch some type of beer and wine list?
This is a longer discussion that they've about every venture that they've had has failed, but one of them was a beer and wine, and it failed. Like it's called Starbucks Evenings, and they had beer on tap and they had glasses of wine, and nobody went to it.
Because you already have a brand of being coffee and tea, like
They're the third place, and the other third place that is other than a coffee shop is a bar, and they wanted to do what a bar does, to foster community or some horseshit.
which, by the way, Teavana, I understand they cashed in, but I think they sold out to Starbucks because they used to be a really well-known national
They
brand,
bought it and tanked it.
and they basically just said, "Here, Starbucks, sell our products," and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, all they have is Starbucks now.
All right, let's wrap this one.
Good morning, and fuck you all.